Today, I want to delve into a concept that I believe is one of the main reasons why there are successful people and unsuccessful people. You know how you hear about people like Tony Robbins who have many different companies in different fields. He's a coach, motivational speaker, knowledgeable about health and science in a number of different topics. How have they excelled at so many different things? Even people like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, who, regardless of what you think about them, have built successful social media presence, successful companies. They're terrible at boxing, but in a few short years have actually gotten skillful enough to beat ex-pro boxers and MMA fighters. It's not like this is one specific skill that these people are good at. So how is it possible? Because this isn't a single natural skill that these people have. In fact, it's a way of approaching things, and it is something that I can tell you 100% can be learned and made habitual. The profound difference between becoming exceptionally good at something and remaining average is intricately tied to the simple act of being mindful in everything that we do. Let me explain this idea with an example. So I own a few fitness studios. Each day there's a different workout, but each day we run the same workout from morning until evening. So every single member will do the same workout as each other. Now imagine two individuals starting their fitness journey on the same day. One person mechanically follows the prescribed workout, executing each movement without much consideration. They just mimic what the coach tells them and they do what they see on the exercise screens. On the other hand, the second person approaches every repetition with a purpose. They not only perform the exercise but delve into the nuances of how each movement feels, how it's meant to feel, and consistently make adjustments to optimize that movement. They think about the purpose of that exercise, what muscles they're trying to develop, and then next time they approach that movement, they continue to refine and expose a specific muscle to more weight. Now fast forward a year and both individuals committed to 5 workouts a week. Fantastic. Doing the exact same workouts at each other. The first person, while being consistent, has essentially remained stagnant, performing each repetition with the same form. Yeah, maybe they add a little bit of weight because the coach told them to, but they start sacrificing their form in order to get it up because they don't actually know what muscles they should be using. In contrast, the second person, through their mindful approach, has experienced a remarkable transformation. They now lift 3 times the weight with perfect form, have identified subtle adjustments that target the same muscles but in a variety of different ways, and as a result, they haven't just increased their strength and the size of their muscles, but have developed the shape and the functionality of that muscle. These two people spent the same amount of their time at that gym, but have 2 very different outcomes. This concept goes beyond the gym, it permeates into every facet of our lives. Imagine applying this concept into seemingly mundane tasks like cutting vegetables. Think about how many times you need to cut a vegetable in your lifetime, how long in total you've spent actually doing it. Now just approaching this each time in a way that you're trying to improve the efficiency but also improving the quality can have a significant impact in your life. After 5 years, you could literally be cutting like a professional chef, spending 10 minutes less a day on just cutting vegetables, which is 10 minutes that you could spend on an actual value-adding task. You can apply this to every aspect of your life, from how you communicate to people, to approaching your responsibilities at work, to how you treat your wife or your husband. I bet you're thinking, but isn't that exhausting? You know what's exhausting? Being broke and useless is exhausting. Seeing people's shocked faces when you tell them you go to the gym 5 days a week because clearly it doesn't look like it is exhausting. Going to work for 10 years straight, working the same job and earning the same amount of money is exhausting. By cultivating mindfulness in every action, we open so many doors of growth and expertise. Think about the cumulative effect of being mindful in everything you do. In 5 years, you could find yourself an expert in so many different things, all achieved within the same time frame as others who may not have embraced this mindful approach. Everyone subconsciously does this without realizing. The problem is that we only do this with things that we're passionate about. Growing up, there were a bunch of things I excelled at, and looking back, this is why. But it took until I was older to realize this. I'm glad I've got this permanent, I told you I could do it mentality, where I love to focus on things that I was bad purely so I could prove to myself, prove to others that I don't need natural ability. I can be successful just through hard work. Because of this, I really spent a lot of time working on things that I wasn't good at, not just the things I was passionate about. I spent the first 5 years of working out getting just a little bit stronger. I would eat healthy without much thought as to what that healthy meant. was lifting weights and running every day, wondering why I wasn't getting stronger. Turns out running half an hour every day and just eating salads wasn't the formula for getting swole. Would you believe that over the next 5 years of spending the exact same amount of time training, eating, preparing food, but this time being mindful of what was actually needed to put on muscle, that I made 10 times the amount of progress. Same time, same tasks, but significantly better results. So I started to take this approach in my life, and it turns out that it's in the culmination of tasks done mindfully that really makes a success, not just single individual instances. Think about that Chinese restaurant up the road. You think, man, this food's amazing. Why is it that this little restaurant only has a few people in it? And why is it that husband and wife who run it still work here 24/7? Yeah, they were mindful with their cooking because they're passionate about it. That's why their food's so fantastic. But what about their marketing? What about their systems to make things more efficient? How do they treat their staff and their customers? Imagine if every single time they prepared a meal in that kitchen, they thought about how they can prepare this faster and still keep the quality. How does this kitchen need to be set up so I can put things together while taking minimal steps? Imagine if every time they spoke to their staff, they thought about how that staff member responded to them, how they could speak to them next time to make them happier, feel more valued, contribute more to the team, and make them more reliable. Eventually, that staff could make the meals for them, and they could spend more time thinking about other things like how they're going to get more customers. You ever wonder why Panda Express has thousands of locations around the US and packed every day, but their food is nowhere near as good as that Chinese restaurant up the road? That founder probably spent the same amount of time working, has been open the same number of years, doing the same tasks, but just being mindful in every aspect of their day allowed them to transform that business. So as you navigate through the various aspects of your life, I implore you to ask yourself, are you merely going through the motions, or are you being fully present, actively seeking improvement? Jim Rohn says in 10 years from now, you're definitely going to arrive, but the question is where? The fantastic thing about this is that you can start it now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to step out of your comfort zone. You don't need to sacrifice anything. You don't need to have that last bit of bad food that's in your fridge before you can actually start eating healthy. You can just do exactly what you normally do, but be mindful. Embrace the power of mindfulness, for it is a catalyst that transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary achievements.